If you bought a tax deed at a tax defaulted property auction for 30, maybe 20, or as low as 10 cents on the dollar, there are things you need to do right away, or your bargain investment could turn into a property money pit and cost you thousands of dollars and weeks of time delays. I've got one tip that will allow you to sell your property quickly so you can make more money with tax defaulted property auctions. Imagine that you've been given the keys to a car of your dreams. You imagined owning it since you first saw it and wished there was some way you could have it. Now in your hands is the title and the keys. It's finally yours. But as soon as you have this elegant beauty that you've desired for years, you simply disappear and you don't even look at it. Your vision of the ultimate automobile is left out in the open in a parking lot, unlocked with the windows down. What do you think is going to happen? That's right, a number of things, and none of them are good. This is exactly what some people do when they win a bargain deal at a tax defaulted property auction. I've watched bidders win the bid, pay the county treasurer, immediately leave the room, get in their rental car, and drive to the airport and then fly home. While the property they have just purchased may not be like the car of their dreams, they still need to treat the property as if they care about it. Because if they don't, it could cost thousands of dollars and weeks of delays. I see this happen time and time again. When people don't secure the property they purchase, they lose a lot of time and a lot of money, which I'll review right now. As you've guessed, the first thing you need to do is visit the property. Take pictures, get to know what you bought. What condition is the property in? And what appliances are in the property? Does it have a heater? Does it have air conditioning? Even if you don't have the actual deed, you need to evaluate and begin to secure your investment. The starting point is the doors and the windows. Is the property secure? If you leave the windows down and unlocked on your dream car, you know that you're inviting bad things to happen. It's the same with your tax defaulted property. You need to know that the doors and the windows are secured. Don't make it easier to get access. The more inviting it is for anyone to take advantage of the situation, the more it costs in dollars and months of delays to do the repairs. Once the doors and windows are secure, the next step is think about the neighborhood and where the property is located. Just like parking your dream car in a lot in a good or a bad neighborhood. The better the neighborhood, the easier you'll rest when you walk away. The neighbors will want to know what's going on. Take my word for it, they know about the auction. They have seen the auction signs on the lawn, and they've seen all the traffic driving by. They understand the county government auction will be selling the property to the highest bidder. More than likely, the neighbors will welcome you because they don't like abandoned properties which attract the wrong people. A key strategy here is get to know the neighbors. This allows them to know you and ultimately like and trust you. The neighbors love to have an insider plan on what you are going to do with the property. For example, are you going to flip it? Are you going to fix it? Are you going to rent it? Are you going to live in it? Taking a few hours working with the neighbors makes a big difference. If they like you, they will call the police if vandals show up. If you fix up, clean up, the neighbors know you care about the neighborhood and you are helping their property value. It really helps when there's something in it for them. Give them your private telephone number so they can contact you if anything happens. When you become the proud owner of your dream ride, if it's a little scuffy and not quite clean enough, what would be the first thing you would do? That's right, you'd give it a good cleaning. And it's the same with your tax defaulted property. While you may not get the property glistening in the midday sun, cleaning up the house, the yard, and any surrounding area that you own, cleaning makes a big difference. This is a priority because cleanup will create the right impression in the neighborhood and cut down on vandalism. Since the taxes haven't been paid on the property for a while, chances are the property has been neglected. This unkept look is an invitation to vandals who want to damage your property, causing you even more expense and time delays plus lots of stress. There are those in society who recognize a neglected property and know that no one is living in it. They will break in, take over the property, begin living there rent-free, all on your dime. These people are very expensive to remove, and they can take thousands of dollars in legal expenses and months to evict them. This reduces your return on investment drastically and shoots your stress level through the roof and makes you question why you bought the property in the first place. Even if you manage to get these unwanted tenants out of your property, they may have been involved with drugs. They may damage the property when they're leaving as a form of protest. Like your dream car, if you leave the windows down and the doors unlocked for months, it won't be a shock to see the seats have been ripped out and the expensive stereo is missing and there's graffiti all over the car. But securing your property at the beginning isn't the only security step you have to take. When you get your dream car, another thing you would do is you would insure it. In fact, it's required by law in almost every state. Anything could happen, and you want to secure against the damage or accidents that could take place with your new prized possession. It may not be required by law to insure your property, but it's just as important. I mean, it's vital that you do so. Insurance is definitely a must. Before you get any insurance, there's a vital step you must do first, and that will save you hundreds, and in some cases, thousands of dollars, which I'll come to in a minute. The types of insurance that you'll need on your new investment is casualty insurance and liability insurance. As you probably already know, casualty insurance is to secure against fire, and liability insurance is needed should someone fall down or get hurt on your property. Ultimately, you're going to have professionals working on the property. People coming in, people going out, people fixing, people viewing the property. Anything can happen, so insure against it. Contact a local insurance person and get a quote. But before you do that, there's an important step before you make that call. If the property isn't clean, clean it before the insurance people arrive, or they might not insure your property. Insurance people recognize that unkept property will attract the wrong people, so cleaning up will help them to help you. The casualty insurance will cover vandals and normal disasters like a fire. Unfortunately, insurance companies do not like empty properties, so expect to pay a 50% upcharge or surcharge because of the vacant real estate. Anyone getting involved in this property can handle repairs. They cannot handle dirt or trash on the property. If it takes truckloads to clean it up, and then insure it. And if you're thinking it might cost thousands of dollars to renovate the property and take months before you can sell it, I'm going to save you a lot of time and money right now. You see, when you get this far, your property is now in a position that it's appealing to a lot of people who may be interested in buying it from you to completely rehabilitate or live in the property themselves. Here's why. Have you ever watched fixer-upper shows on television? They are very popular. Thousands of people start their real estate career rehabilitating properties to give themselves a financial start. If you have watched those shows, you're not alone, because the popularity of those shows like Fix Boston, Fix San Antonio, Farmhouse Fixer, Fixer to Fabulous has created thousands of Americans across the country that consider themselves do-it-yourselfers, fixer-upper experts who are looking for fixer-upper property to buy and to renovate. They're looking for below-market price properties with the intent to renovate them, sell them for large profits, and build the American dream. Tax-defaulted properties are used and abused, and when cleaned up, they have an appeal to these fixer-upper guys and gals and wholesalers. They see the opportunity, and they can have a lot of zeros attached. When you've followed all of the previous steps, your property will now appeal to many of these people. Start with your cleanup right away. While that is going on, you can be planning which media you will use to sell the property. If you have a good rapport with the neighbors, they are your first possible customers. They all have relatives, maybe they have grown kids, and they know people who may want to buy or rent your property. Many of them could be in the market to fix up your property. Remember, I mentioned earlier about securing your property, and that is not a one-time thing. By not doing this next step, It cost me more than $15,000 and 6 weeks delay. There was nothing I could do about it. Securing the property is an ongoing process you have to do. Here's what happened. You have people constantly entering and leaving the property. Contractors, workmen, brokers, coming and going every day, sometimes multiple times each day. And of course, they're thinking about themselves. It's not unusual for them to leave the property to go get supplies or visit another property without securing the doors or the windows. And this is a mistake I learned the hard way, costing me over $15,000. A few years ago, I fixed up a large colonial home. It was on 2 acres of beautiful grounds with a majestic oak trees lining the property. It was in a high-end neighborhood. I fixed the roof. I replaced the windows, rehabilitated the kitchen and the bathroom. I hired professionals to refinish the hardwood floors. The property looked like it did back when it was first built. It was perfect for a buyer who could move in immediately and make it their own. I made this drastic mistake that cost me $15,000. When the property was completed, the broker conducted an open house. After a long day of viewing, the broker left the property. She drove off in a car, exhausted from a day of showing prospective buyers and trekking through the up and down floors, and the last thing on her mind was to secure the house. If that wasn't bad enough, she didn't think about the cold front that was rapidly approaching, and she didn't adjust the thermostat to keep the house warm. Within days, the temperature dropped 10 degrees and many of the pipes froze, and then they burst. My neighbor called the police when they walked by the property and saw the water coming out from under the front door. Pipe after pipe had burst, leaving me with over 100 small leaks and as much as 4 inches of ice on those beautiful hardwood floors. It looked like an ice rink, and all I could see was dollar signs. As I said, it cost me $15,000 to fix the leaks, refinish the hardwood floors again, as well as another 6 weeks before the property was available for sale. This was a very costly mistake. Secure the property at the beginning and continue to keep watch on it until it's sold. Weather is definitely your enemy. Vandals are your enemy. Thieves are your enemy. One thing that separates newcomers from my students is that newcomers want to sell their tax defaulted property for top dollar. Folks, this is a fantasy. Unless you can develop multiple eager buyers who are waiting in line and ready to compete with each other to push the price up, and you've spent thousands of dollars rehabilitating the property. Tax defaulted properties, generally speaking, are used and abused. Making these properties look like new costs a fortune. Next, I'll give you a selling strategy that my students use that makes thousands of dollars on just one deal. The strategy is buy low, sell low, and do it fast. In a few minutes, I'll tell you about Paul. He's been using this strategy for years. Using a buy low, sell low strategy, you're making a nice bargain for yourself. Let the fixer-upper guys and gals make the property a gorgeous place. My point is, leave money on the table for the fixer-uppers and the wholesalers. What I can tell you is this strategy works. I'm not guaranteeing you results. Paul C. made a business of this. That's what I suggest for you. In the second year, he was able to purchase 4 tax defaulted properties, and he generated more than $25,000 after cost on each of those properties. This is just an example. I don't know how much money you'll make, if you'll make any at all. I have many case studies, and this is just an example. I'm prevented by law to forecast results. There's no guarantee that you'll make this kind of money using this strategy. I'm required to make you understand for legal reasons, there's no guarantee. It sure works for me. I've tested and perfected this strategy over 30 years with real deals with my own money, and now my students successfully do the same when bidding at tax defaulted property auctions across the United States. You see, buy low, sell strategy enables you to sell quickly. You don't have to be a pushy salesperson. You don't have to use high-pressure closing techniques, and you don't have to try to persuade anyone who's interested in buying a property that it's a great deal. It's going to be obvious. Instead, you buy at bargain auction prices, allowing yourself margin to resell the property below the competitive market, because you can buy bargain price real estate for 30 cents, maybe 20 cents on the dollar, even as low as 10 cents on the dollar directly from the local government. Once you've completed the steps I've already mentioned, it's possible to sell the property below the market value. You don't have to persuade new prospective buyers of your bargain. It's a great deal. It's going to be obvious to everyone. In this business, you make your money when you buy. Selling below the competitive market to a fixer-upper guy or gal, a wholesaler, accelerates the selling process. I promised you earlier a bonus tip. How would you like to make your property even more appealing and easier to sell? Well, of course you would. How would you like to appeal to a larger group of people who have good jobs and families to take care of? The banks have rejected as many as 25% of all loan applications because people have low FICO scores, which means bad credit. Low FICO scores keep new buyers out of the real estate market. That doesn't mean that they don't have a good job and money. Their credit could have been destroyed by a divorce or the credit problem like a medical crisis. So how do you attract these people? It's simple. Advertise that you will accept an installment sale. You become the banker for the deal. And by using the installment sale, a land contract, which we provide with the training, you still control the property and you keep the deed while they're paying you installments. You are the bank, just like Bank of America, just like Wells Fargo. You have the same ability to loan because you own property. This helps you secure the client purchaser and makes the deal fast. If you're investing in your first tax deed or have been investing in tax deeds for a while, there are certain things that only the elite tax deed experts do that 99% of people don't. They'll not only save you even more time, stress, and tens of thousands of dollars on deals, but they can also enable you to get even more profitable deals at every auction you go to. To find out what they are, click the video on your screen now or click the link in the description below.